We're making a crisp and refreshing cucumber carrot salad with a creamy sesame dressing. This Asian-inspired salad is quickly tossed and ready to serve as a healthy lunch or an eye-catching side dish. Hello, my name is Nicole Bonilla, and if you love healthier recipes for our favorite foods that are made with all natural ingredients, then you are in the right place. To make the salad, we're going to start by slicing our vegetables, and we're going to need 1 English cucumber as well as 3 carrots. To slice the cucumber, I'm going to cut off the end. And then to make these really uniform little half circle cucumbers, I'm going to go ahead and slice about 1/3 of the way into my cucumber. I'm just going to slice it in half. And then I'm going to take my mandolin slicer and set it to a real thin slice, about 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to take my sliced end and very carefully just run it along my mandolin. And then I'll keep slicing until I reach the end of my cut line. It also helps me keep my hand out of danger. And as soon as I got down to my cut line, I'll go ahead and just cut it again, about another halfway up, and continue slicing. And then for my last cut, I'm going to leave a good inch at the top, and then slice very carefully till I get to the end. And then we have these gorgeous cucumber slices. And transfer my cucumbers onto my paper towels, give a gentle squeeze, and then set those aside. When it comes to the carrots, you could slice them as really thin medallions, or you could cut them into those really thin little matchsticks. I prefer to make these ribbons because they're really thin, and that means that they're going to soak up that dressing and be a little bit easier to chew. So to make the ribbons, you're going to take your carrot and then lightly peel off the outer layer and discard the peels, and then lay the carrot flat and hold it firmly by the thick end. And then I'm just going to drag my peeler and make some nice long ribbons. And I'm going to drag it about 2 or 3 times and then rotate my carrot 90 degrees. Make a couple more ribbons and then continue all the way around the carrot. And then you're left with this really fun carrot sword that I'm going to munch on later. And then lastly, we're going to finally chop up some green onions. And these will add some beautiful green color on top of our salad as well as some delicious flavor. So I'm chopping up 2 stalks of green onion. And I like to cut them on the diagonal so you get these fun little diamond shapes. And then we can set this aside while we make our dressing. To make this dressing, we're going to start with our sesame seeds. Now, it tastes best to use toasted or roasted seeds because they have a lot more flavor to them. And you can buy them already toasted, or you can roast them yourself in a fry pan. But we want to grind down the sesame seeds before we make our dressing. So we have 3 options. You could either use a bowl with a mortar, or you could put them into a plastic bag, lay them on the counter, and use a rolling pin, or you could use the chopper cup with an immersion blender or a food processor. So I'm going to start by adding 3 tablespoons of some roasted sesame seeds to my chopper cup. And then I'll turn this on high to grind the seeds. Ooh, those look great. Grinding them down will not only make our dressing a little bit smoother, but it also releases even more of their delicious flavor. So now, using the same container, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of mayo. And this is my homemade mayo that's made with lemon juice and some light olive oil. And I've included a link in the video description below if you'd like to check it out. And this will add delicious creaminess to the dressing. Next, we'll add 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and I like the toasted sesame oil. Next, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of honey, and I'm doing it right after the oil so that it helps it slide right out of my measuring spoon. Next, we'll add a tablespoon of soy sauce and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Next, we're going to add half a teaspoon of ginger, and you could either use dried ginger, or if you have fresh, I highly recommend it. So I'm just going to use my zester for half a teaspoon of ginger. Next, we want to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a dash of pepper. And then I'll just put on my lid and mix this until it's smooth and creamy. Oh, that looks gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to a jar. Now that we've chopped up our 1 English cucumber, our 3 carrots, and our green onions, we can assemble our salad. So we'll just add it all to the salad bowl. I'll leave the green onions to sprinkle on top. Then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of our dressing. Take some tongs and mix all that together. And this is ready to serve. So I'll put a little scoop on my plate, sprinkle on a few of the green onions, and then I like to add just a little sprinkle of some black sesame seeds, as well as a little bit of our toasted sesame seeds. And we have a very gorgeous little salad that I am confident will taste as good as it looks. Crunchy. That is delicious. All those bright flavors and colors taste so good together. As soon as you bite in, you get that delicious, fresh, crunchy texture, and then you get the incredible flavor coming in from that creamy sesame dressing, and having just those little seeds on top just add the finishing touch. And I love that it is so simple and made with clean, natural ingredients, which means I'm going to feel just as good even after I eat it. And I want you to know that I believe in you and your ability to make the delicious recipes that are going to leave you feeling fantastic from the inside out. And I'm here to support you in any way that I can. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen. I've included a link to the full recipe and it's in the video description below, which takes you to my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would love this recipe, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen.